Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Hey, everybody. Hey, Rimas, Sapphire, Nyx. Oh, you're making your bean soup? Very nice. Hey, Commander Apollo. How's it going? Oh, getting coffee. Coffee sounds good. I had my few cups of coffee already over breakfast, so I should be good. We'll see. Wow, Sapphire on the 45 stream streak. Incredible. Absolutely unbelievable. They're builders working directly below me, like drilling into the wall and stuff. So if I seem distracted or you hear noise, it's because I'm distracted and there's noise. How's it going? How's it going, Remus? Everyone. Happy weekend. Here we go. Game dev time. We fixed our bug, so now we get to actually hopefully improve some stuff today. Work on a bunch of minor things. Tighten up this interaction. And hopefully move on to some new stuff next week. I say new stuff. Move on to fixing other things that we broke during our big refactor, like the cutaway system, for which is we almost did this whole thing. This whole thing was like pretty much an act to try to make that more sustainable. You're back. How are you doing? We're good. We're good. How's the coffee? We're chilling. We're ready for game dev. I slept in. I went out to my little local breakfast diner. It's a little mom and pop shop. Very, very, very cheap, very good. Lots of free coffee refills, you know. I'm good. Let's go. All right, what are we even doing? I don't know. I'm gonna look at what we got, and whatever the most obviously wrong thing is, that's what we're gonna work on next, because that's just how I do. Oh yeah. So one thing we want to do is introduce some kind of buffer offset so that we can start the buffer anywhere, so that we actually can place blocks here in the negative tile space instead of anchoring it. If we go down here into the positive tile space, everything's fine. We can just start throwing stuff down. Nanigans had some good ideas yesterday for how to do like a modifier key that lets us lock the z-axis instead of having it be based on the cursor in every case, like having the ability to like specify. I think that's good. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here as far as what we can do in terms of cursor based inputs. It does a really good job of figuring out what face we're on. So it's working, you know? Crazy. Hey, Magoo, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Commander, the coffee is good. Oh, you worked on Lewis scripting today. Now it's time to work on the actual content for your game. Yeah, I saw you finished your Lewis scripting. I saw your note in the Discord. That's awesome. That's such a cool thing to have in your game. So yeah, we can do we don't just have to do these kinds of like drag out like this. Like drag out with a consistent Z axis or a Z layer. The erase works now too. We made that a lot more intuitive. But you can also do stuff like this. So you could just place a wall and then be like, no, I want to fill up the whole space. And it works pretty well based on your intuition of like where so if I turn the eraser on and I do the same thing, look at that. Isn't that neat? I think it works pretty well. Magoo with a 7 stream streak. Nicely done. looking really satisfying. It's looking intuitive. I mean, it's impossible for me to determine what's intuitive, but it's looking all right. I'm pretty pleased. Just make another wall here. I'm very pleased with our new cursor-based input. It has a tendency to like freak out sometimes, but that's okay. So this will just put a ceiling on it unless I do like that. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Now we really do need the cutaway system because now there's no way to see into this. We also need to probably have the scroll wheel do something. Commander, you tried to use Magic of Voxel yesterday. You had the same issue. To the point where you ended up rolling your own voxel editor? You should talk to Shenanigans about Magical Voxel. That's what they're using, and they have a whole tool chain to get their Magical Voxel stuff, like, set up as meshes in Godot and, like, do all the mapping and everything. That's cool. All right, what do we want to do? I don't know. I think what we can do is we can finally move something on our task board. I think we can move raycast cursor input to be under review. Auto tiler corner cases. Yeah, technically still under review because I know that there's bad corner cases that we just can't see yet. So we kind of need to do this resizable block buffer thing. I almost want to call it like a dynamic block buffer, but the buffers are already dynamic, so I don't think that's clear what I mean. We also need to re-enable the cutaway system. That's probably next. But yeah, let's get the buffer. Let's make it so we can move the buffer around. I think there's gonna be a bunch of consequences just trying to do that. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. Commander, for your game's editor, the scroll wheel changes the active Z coordinate, vertical height. It works pretty well for you. That's what mine did previously, and that's still what it's going to do sometimes. But if your cursor is over a block, I don't want it to just move the Z level by 1. I want it to move the cursor down to the next tile in that, the next block in that list of, like, in that raycast hit return list. So if you're like scrolling around a ceiling and you scroll forward, I want you to scroll down to the floor of the next room, or whatever object is in between. If there's like a character or whatever, a wall. But we will just, if you're not over anything, if you're just in a vacuum, yeah, the scroll wheel will continue to just move you up one Z level at a time. I think that is the way. And then I think we'll have something like the shift key or something, which if you're doing a block selection or a placement, will basically turn off the cursor mapping system, and it will just hard lock the Z, and then you can you can shift and scroll and to like manually change the Z levels. In case you're trying to like select a volume that's kind of tricky for the cursor mapper to find. That will really only be useful during build mode. Shift key might do something totally different in play mode. I don't know. That's confusing, but it might be what we do. I don't want to think about the copy paste stuff right now, so we're not going to. All the mouse, all the like highlight stuff works now, right? I fixed that, right? Magoo, you're modding and talking on another stream, but you're watching this. Let me guess. You're on CA2 software. Okay, so yeah, here's an interesting thing. So this doesn't change this. No? Okay, well, that was my one guess. Hey, Arneo. Okay, it looks like the selection highlight works just fine right now. All right, that seems all fine. Oh, what's interesting is if you're in this mode and you hit the erase key, whoa. Okay, well, that's a bug. What happens? Yeah, okay, so those are all... Okay, that's interesting. So it's not permanent, but it doesn't clean up after itself when it moves. Okay, bug found. This is what we do. Find a bug. Let's figure out what's going on there. Your editor doesn't have copy paste, but it desperately needs it. Copy paste is annoying. I have a copy paste system that worked. It probably still works, but I don't want to mess with it right now. I need to think more about how I want to handle like prefabs, like sections of blocks that you like save to the palette, like essentially block brushes. I'm gonna think a little more about that. All right, so when we're flickering the eraser, there's an interaction happening between the hover, which is just when the cursor is moving around, and the eraser, which is when we like toggle the erase mode. There's no reveal happening. We actually need to move the reveal out of this condition. In which case we can actually get rid of it here. We want to do it like this, I think. That probably fixed it. Well, sort of. I can see an edge. I can see something about this that I want to change. Yeah, okay. This works now. Oh. That's not the test. Oh, this is actually hard. Here's a great case for Z. I can't actually fill this in. Here's a great case for like a shift and scroll to like hard lock the Z. Can't actually fill back in this hole. Well, I can do it in multiple steps. That's not ideal. All right, now if I unselect that. Now if I... Okay, so now eraser doesn't do anything. Good. I want you to have to pick something from this, then erase, which is maybe not the way it should work. You should maybe be able to select something and then like go into erase mode, but I would also be fine if you had to select something and then delete it rather than go into erase mode. Go into erase mode should maybe not do anything if you don't have a tool selected. Maybe how that should work. That seems reasonable. Because I don't want you to, like, have to track that. So we could actually say, I think we could just say if not active block tag dot has any. Can I just say has? No, I can't. See if that's okay. Hope everyone's chilling today. I loved your update, Arneo. The missile scanner stuff is your game's looking juicy. Looking good. Looking real good. Whoop. Yeah, so if I take this tool away, so here I am in place mode. Now I'm in erase mode. Now I unselect my editor tool, and now I flicker the eraser a few times. I guess I have no idea. And now I'm in erase mode. Huh. Okay. Well, it's working here, but something I was doing, like spamming it a bunch, is causing some stuff to happen. No, I can't replicate whatever I was just doing. Okay, whatever. There's also a question of whether I want you to be able to move your selection. So if I have a selection and then I click on it again and I start moving it around, do I actually want to do something with that? Oh my lord. Nick's dropping the full bean soup recipe here. I like the tip of wearing swim goggles for chopping the onions. Chat is already cooking, yep. Very nice. That sounds good. I'm making scallop potatoes tonight. I'm very excited. Cheesy, potatoey, oniony goodness. I would also like the ability to do this and then scroll up or down to not move the Z, or not to move the whatever, but just to move the Z level. I kind of want to do that next. Yeah, let's mess around with more input stuff. I'm having a time understanding. I'm understanding that fairly well, how that works. It's looking really good, though, the way this works. Yeah, it would be nice to be able to control it. So, time to do some input map changing. Sapphire, you cooked and ate a frozen pizza? That sounds good, too. I didn't cook anything. I went out to get breakfast. All right, let's look at our input maps. All right, so what we have, though, is we have orbit left. Right now, it's shift plus A. I don't want that anymore. I think it's just going to be Q and E to, like, rotate the camera. I'm going to change the name of that at some point. So yeah, it's not going to be shift. It's just going to be Q. That'll be QE, because right now I had shift. And then what's zoom going to be? I had that be shift W and S. Actually, I guess they could be shift, because I can also then just do shift scroll. Actually, I'm going to change these back. Then shift WASD. Oops, not shift E. Shift D. No way. That way the shift... well... I might think about that a little more. Crack an egg in the middle while you put the frozen pizza in the oven. Fascinating. Do I need a new action for this? Oh, I have some Shift Q and Shift E stuff for like block rotation. That doesn't seem right. Honestly, make something like Z and X zoom. So what I've got right now is Shift plus a WASD is like move the camera and stuff, but I also have just raw mouse scroll as like zoom the camera. I kind of want it to be consistent if I'm going to do that. Then I'd want it to be like Shift mouse wheel does that, but I want Shift to like turn off the like cursor mapper. I can kind of do whatever I want. I think Z and X is fine. Redo is already Control Shift Z, right? Yeah. I think I'm gonna have zoom out be X, zoom in be Z, also scroll wheel. Orbit camera left is gonna be, or orbit camera right is gonna be E, orbit camera left is gonna be Q. Let's try to reduce the amount of modifiers we need, but then what we want, I guess I don't actually want an input that says shift. Actually, no, I do. I want a new action. I want to call it like Z level up. Probably need to describe it. Oh, and then I just closed the whole thing. Z level up, add, and then Z level down. I usually put up before down or down before up. Left, right, in, out. Up, left, right, up, down. I don't know why I do it in that order. That doesn't seem right. It should be left, right, down, up. Left, right, down, up. Left, right, down, up. Left, right, down, up. There we go. Left, right. Level down, add, down, up. Your barbarian cooking is weirding people out again, Arneo. Yeah, it is. Song is silly. Yeah, this radio is good. This is our like chill radio. All right, is there a joypad button that is associated with this? What I have right now for this, for Zoom. I'm not going to think about the joypad commands for that right now. I try to think about it because I would like to have Steam Deck support. So I want fundamental controller support. Z level down, I said it was going to be Shift X. Or can I do Shift scroll wheel? Oh, it totally works. Interesting that they consider that mouse wheel up. Oh man, we're running into a mouse wheel paradigm problem, which I consider forward. I consider forward to be down, as in you go in, but they call that mouse wheel up. Whatever, it'll all be controllable. So I have zoom in also be mouse wheel up. I want it to be consistent with that. So it will be Shift X and it will also be Shift mouse wheel up. That's like an inverted y-axis thing, and I don't invert my y-axis. I don't know, maybe it's not even that. Yeah, because moving the mouse forward also brings you up. So why would scrolling the mouse wheel up does bring you up. I don't know, I feel like it brings you in. Whatever, pedantic. Commander, you've never published a game from what you've heard from other people who use your framework. It can be a bit of a pain to build, especially for non-computer platforms. Oh, the building stuff? Yeah, that's another nice thing about, a big game engine like Godot or Unity. The build process is so easy. Godot has build templates you can just download. I mean, you built EXEs for your native platform and Linux and such. You have no clue if you can even run Pygame games on consoles. Oh, you would, yeah, there's an SDK you would need to use. There's like NDAs you would sign. It's a whole thing. Those systems are closed generally, so you have to have a business relationship with the console owner to publish to console. And if you don't, then you need a publisher that does. It's a lot harder than just putting a game on Steam or whatever, PC. Yeah, consoles are tough. That's why a lot of people don't even focus on the console until after their PC launch. It tends to be like you have to like do this whole thing. Some places help, like Godot, W4 Games can help you do ports in Godot, but you pay for it, right? It's like a service they provide. Hey, a car? How's it going? Welcome in. What is FTL? FTL is a classic roguelike game by Subset Games, released in 2012. Starship, it's a starship management game about, having a starship where you can distribute the power manually, you can move the crew around, you can target weapons and systems and stuff, and you have these kind of abstract, kind of board gamey kind of battles against other ships. You kind of go through, the typical roguelike web of scenarios. Very cool. Classic game. We're working on kind of an FTL-like that is isometric 2D, so we're kind of taking on a different... Be nice, Magoo. We get new viewers all the time. Magoo is like an outsider. Oh my god. You two were once an outsider, Magoo. Let's be nice. How's it going, Akar? If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, let me know. For all I know, your name is something totally different. You love the isometric style? I got it right. Wow, look at me. Yeah, the isometric style is really neat. We've been trying to solve a bunch of problems with it. Let me finish this part here real quick, and we'll show you what we've been kind of working on. We're mostly working on tools. We've recently added a... Oh, I just overwrote my input. Did not want to do that. I want to add an additional input. How are you finding it in Godot? Pretty cool, pretty cool. Are you using GDScript or C# with Godot? Both. So we have a weird architecture. We're using Godot for the nice Godot things. We're using it for rendering. We're using it for UI. We're using it both receiving and setting up UI. But all of our whole simulation layer is often its own little C# domain, which you can get to through our root node, our game node, which is our one node object that like crosses the domain between C# and GDScript. So we have this whole very totally separate like simulation layer, and we send stuff back and forth with the engine to have stuff get rendered and to like take in inputs. You would hope that we're using Godot for the Godot things. Only the Godotist things are we using Godot for. Which might make you say, Godot, no. But yeah, we have this block editor. We recently just added a cursor mapping, so we're like doing fake raycasting because this is all being done with tile map layers. And the system can like, it can figure out what tile map your cursor's over now. And so we can build this almost like a 3D printer kind of deal. And we're adding some manual, we're adding some manual manipulation, which is why I was just adding a new input. But yeah, we can do this, and then we can be like, oh, let me add a new wall, which is kind of neat. Let me add some more walls that are the same height as the other walls. It's a little tricky. There we go. Yeah, right now it's all very locked to the cursor, so we're adding some manual overrides to the controls. So you can manually shift the Z level instead of solely relying on the raycast result. So that's what we're adding. Viewers are friends, not food. Yeah, very true. Very true, Rihanna Journey. Let's keep that in mind. Chat. Magoo, if you were to Godot, can you use assembly? Probably. GD extension is very powerful. I think you can write your own bindings in pretty much any language. People have set it up for Rust. They've set it up for whatever. Y'all have weird opinions about food, but I still appreciate you. How's everyone? It's been a very tired day for you. Hopefully you mean just tired and not tiring. Hopefully you're in recreational mode. All right, so if we want to kick in this manual override, how are we going to do that? All right, they have started drilling below my feet again. I don't know why they insist on doing this on a Saturday. Not that it would be better to do it on a weekday for me. What am I doing? You know what I really need to do is I need to rip out all the old stuff that we don't use anymore. I've been putting that off. We need a really big spring cleaning in this project. What am I trying to do right now? Oh yeah, I'm trying to modify I'm trying to pass along this input So to the GD script where we do this. I think this would be the input handler. So the input handler is going to really care when we're holding shift. Shift is like a significant thing then when we're in this mode, at least. Hey, Fesley, you're just here to say you're learning Git right now. Bye-bye. That's a great thing to learn. I wish I drilled into learning a little more of the fundamental Git stuff, like some more of the CLI stuff, because I just installed GitHub Desktop, and I'm just like, that's good enough for me. My biggest issue with GitHub Desktop is that I can't seem to scale the appearance of it. I can't, like, increase the size of the font or anything, or the UI. So it's just, like, unreadable on 4K monitor. Kind of annoying. I think I'm going to learn some new Git stuff home soon, because I think I want to onshore my Git, or whatever you want to call it. Bring it in locally. 4K, you are rich. I know, right? Git is amazing, yeah. Yeah, Git is an incredible skill to know. The number of times I've heard somebody who's like, I lost X amount of work because my hard drive became corrupted, or my computer was taken by a great eagle, which flew away with it. And I'm like, well, didn't you back it up? And they're like, no. Not gonna lie, you like, you'll follow. You like me, I'm funny. Well, thank you. That's like all, you know exactly the right things to say to a streamer. Appreciate the follow. I hope you're having a happy Saturday. Yeah, we do this. We work on this Tuesday through Saturday. So this is our Friday in terms of streaming. We're working on an FTL-like in isometric 2D that we're building in Godot. You're a streamer too? Awesome. Let me hit you with that follow back so I can see when you go live. Oh, in Kick? Okay. I've never tried Kick. I mean, I'm not going to stream to Kick. I'm already multi-streaming to YouTube. Well, I followed you. It's too late. How do you like Kick? You hate Kick. Okay, great. All right. That's what I thought. But, you know, I wanted to be open to the possibility that people liked it. Well, come over to YouTube or Twitch. Or even, I don't know, what else do people stream on? TikTok? They stopped your payment program? Who did? Kick? It's weird. I thought Kick was a platform of scallywags and vagabonds. Oh, they're just sending you like weird notification emails that don't make sense. That's fun. All right, so what are we doing? We're like trying to create an alternative mode. Maybe Alt is the better key. Nanigans told me that in the editors he's used, Shift would be the more traditional key to use for this. And I'm tempted to agree with him. It just kind of, it locks out a whole key for us. But I think Shift is good because I want to save Alt for the eyedropper tool. Because I at least know enough that the eyedropper tool should be on Alt. So that's mode shifting. So we got Shift and Alt. We got Control for like undo, redo and stuff. And save. Tab isn't really a mode shifter. Tab is a tabber, so I guess we'll leave that. What am I doing? I'm programming a game. We're working on an editor tool. Shift feels like it would be the most normal to you also to lock an axis like that, like the Z axis or the Z level, whatever. All right, so that means we need to consider shift like a state variable almost for the input. Like it colors our opinion of the inputs that we receive. And so let's figure out how to do that, or where we want to put that. So these are our view commands. Is shift would color a lot of things, but it would specifically have different impacts probably during edit and play mode. I honestly don't know what shift would do in play mode. Like maybe we do want some kind of... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we would want it to do the same thing in play mode. Let's not worry about that right now. So where do we care? At what point do we care that we have shift? That we have shifted? We would care... We wouldn't care here. We would care maybe here. Godot? Yeah, it's the game engine. Your game engine is better than Godot. Magoo, you're still on the OS. You even gotten to the game engine yet? Select does care about shift already. That's a good point. Because when we hit shift, so shift for us already lets us that's why it's better, the infinite possibilities. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so when we do shift like... Yeah, I really want to be able to scroll wheel my way up here. Right now I have to paint it layer by layer. And then immediately making a mistake. Thanks for the hydrate. Next. I have to build the first layer or the first wall by hand, but after that I can just kind of do this. But yeah, we already use shift in the select mode because when we're selecting... So here's my selection. If I go to make another selection, it like clears the first selection. But if I engage shift, it adds to the selection. So that's a good point. So yeah, this is the right spot to be doing it. Oh. There's a conflict there then. I can't do it that way, huh? Because that would mean if we're doing shift to add to a selection, we would also be locking the Z level. I don't necessarily want to do that. Ugh. All right, what do we want to do instead then? Let me think. Godot OS. You got a spinning cube with other spinning cubes orbiting it, and you can move in it. Oh yeah, that sounds good. You think you helped me somehow without knowing anything? Is that your wallpaper? Yeah, it's like a style guide for this game. I just put it up so if someone comes in and is like, what's the game look like? I can be like, it's gonna look like this. Star Trek? Yeah, very Star Trek. That's what it's supposed to be giving. All right. So shift is to like, I feel like that's also a natural use of shift, is to like add to a selection. So I'm hesitant to change that. And then if alt is going to be, honestly, we might put this on control rather than shift. I kind of like control because it implies that you are in control of the Z level directly. Like you're manually controlling the Z level. So I don't hate control for that. Let me see if there's any. Yeah, it's like a bridge from like a Star Trek ship or something. Nix, here's a crazy idea. Hold on. All of my USB devices just disconnected and then reconnected, except my camera. What an interesting problem I have. Some kind of USB driver thing. No, it's super weird. And you might be asking, why did the music stop? It's because the music is being run through an audio program that is related to my USB microphone. But it is interesting that it failed at the same time. There's something to investigate there. I don't want to do it now. Yeah, there would still need to be a default. Yeah, just default random keys. Okay, that's Nix's idea. Yeah, I've been having that problem happening like every few days, and I'm like, this is either a really, really bad like hardware problem, or it's a super weird software problem. And I'm like, I don't want to think about it. So I haven't been thinking about it. I might try to reinstall my USB drivers at some point. I think maybe is what I'll feebly attempt to do to fix that. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna maybe have to switch to. We have to switch something. Do not say the words USB. Shift plus Alt plus Control plus Escape plus Function plus E. Yeah, that will be a good default. If you were thinking Alt plus F4, maybe holding down the PC shut off key. Yeah, you got it. The classic. All right. Yeah, since I already have Shift to be like expand my selection, I think we're gonna go for Control. Oh shoot, Control X and Control Z is already a thing. Man, this is tough. This Venn diagram of inputs and mode shifting is not trivial. What about function? So function is not easy for me to reach. I have a weird keyboard, so I don't think about function. I'm not really considering function. I'm considering Shift, Control, and Alt. I should look at a regular keyboard for a minute. All right, well, I'm a little annoyed at this. This is kind of... All All right, so we can't mess with control plus those keys. Yeah, I want to be careful about the acquiring the control key. Control delete. I also want to be careful about combos. I'm not careful. I mean, I'm thinking about, I've got my controller. What am I gonna? You're gonna be like, hold the shoulder button and the left trigger, and then press the D-pad, and it's like, I don't want to do that much. I want to make it as simple as possible. If it's not a USB, what is it? A Canadian B? Nice one, Nix. Maybe I just remove the key for Z level down and Z level up. Maybe I just use the same controls as zoom in and zoom out. Maybe not. You just came up with the silliest save state system of all time for your editor. Nice. Yeah, an editor does not need a super complicated save system for sure. Why are all of these dead zones 0.5 and then all these ones down here are 0.2? Is it because there's... Did they change the default at some point? Or am I just not paying any attention? Okay. Default modifier key for adding to a selection. I want to see if there's like, if I'm right that it's shift. It is normally the shift key. Default modifier key for adding to a selection in most graphical applications is the shift key. Oh, the alt key typically subtracts from a selection. And the shift plus alt often intersects them. That's interesting. I didn't think about that. I probably want to implement that. Not now, but that would be cool. So you might be using shift or alt when manipulating selections. So that really just leaves us control or like, whereas has been suggested, possibly function. Oh no, I do have function key accessible. I don't want to do it for that though. You run out of ideas, drink some water. Thanks. I think we're going to use control. Because normally, when we're normally using control, it's for like a button. And I think we're going to just use it as a mode here. I am concerned about something holding control, doing whatever, and then just accidentally hitting a button, but as long as you're in control, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So alt would be like erase from this function, erase from this selection, this thing. That's kind of neat. I kind of want that. Kind of want to add that. Subtract from selection. What about just control? That's what I'm thinking. So it'd be control plus scroll wheel. If you want to change it. Otherwise, it would just, control would just lock the Z level. And that way all I'm asking you to do is, the thing is I can't use like Control X and Control Z. So I actually don't think I want zoom. I'm actually going to remove Z and X as zoom keys. I'm going to have zoom be the scroll axis exclusively, and or the joypad, I guess. Arguably, orbit left and right could totally be the shoulders, but I kind of want them. I kind of like the D-pad. I think that's a reasonable choice. I'll let people invert it if they want. And then this, we're going to get rid of those. What we're going to do here is we're going to say Control, mouse wheel, Control, mouse wheel. And that's good because that will add, we'll be able to track that for the purpose of like changing the camera. And then I think we'll have the controls in here. Oh, we're in ads. Hold on to your ads, people. Can't believe we've been live for an hour already. Arneo, why are particle systems so intoxicating to play around with? You've been looking at your explosion particles the whole day, basically just making them worse. I find those things to be true. There's so many little sliders and ways of messing around with particle emitters and stuff that it's like really easy to get really deep in it. And I think it's also true that the more you mess around with it, the worse you make it. I think you can definitely overtune particles. Zoom in or out, level up or down. This is actually not view in or out. This is now Z level up or down. Wish there were better. I wish there were any refactor controls. I mean, there are a little bit. I guess I can do replace, but I think that will only work. And let me see if we can do find and replace. Oh. I don't think find and replace is going to work outside of our file, but maybe it will. Yeah, there's... I really wish GDScript had some better refactoring tools. We're gonna call this Z level up or down. Maybe we'll call it move. And then someone calls this. I think the only person that probably calls this is probably the game script here. Arneo, you're several curve textures deep now. There's no going back. At least I can do a refactor here. I don't want to call it shift Z level up or down. I mean, I do, but I don't. I didn't have enough tea or coffee, apparently. Getting sleepy already. All right, let's keep going. I think Monday night I might rip out all of the, maybe Tuesday night as well. I think early next week I want to rip out all this old code that we don't use that just clutters everything. Okay, so we're doing this. We're doing something here. We want to utilize the control to like overwrite the cursor mapping system. So here is this. We say select. We say interact. Pass that in. Continue interaction. Who can tell when we're doing this? So that's this zoom command here. That's when we go in. So what we want is we want to keep track of a Z level up or down. It's not really a view command though. It's like an edit command. And it's actually a modifier for other commands. I think. Maybe, maybe not. It actually affects the way the cursor mapping system works, doesn't it? It kind of locks the cursor mapping system Z level. The cursor mapping system needs to keep track of its Z level. I wonder how I'm going to handle this switch. Yeah, it really all happens in the cursor mapping system, huh? Because the sculpting system doesn't care. It just wants like a coordinate volume thing. It just wants to know the coordinates. And the Z level is not the index in the cursor block hit list. It's literally the Z level of that block that we're hitting. So let's track that, I guess. Private. Oh, it's not read only, I'll tell you that. Tell you that for nothing. Cursor Z level. Maybe it should be like last cursor Z level. Nah, it's not really last. It'll start at 0, as one does. If okay, so I can't just have this be a ternary. This needs to be like a if cursor block hit list dot count is greater than 0. Else. Game.input.cursor coords equals cursor block hit list. Whatever's at the top. Oh no, it is last cursor Z level. You got a lurk? Have a good stream. Thanks, Ryan and Journey. Enjoy the lurk. Have a good weekend. Take it easy. Wouldn't be the last cursor Z level either, huh? All right, let's not go crazy to start. Maybe it doesn't last. This is where processing, the way we handle our inputs, the way we handle our inputs right now are as these like discrete command pattern objects. And I kind of don't like that anymore. I mean, we can still use it. And I think we kind of have to based on our input model. Well, we don't have to. We don't have to, but it is very straightforward to do it. We could just pass things to the game node. And the game node could be the one that builds the structure of the input for the frame. But we're using these command patterns to like run our systems as an alternative to, I don't know, having input entities or even just running them every frame. But we're kind of just using them as flags as an indicator of whether to run the system or not. We are kind of leaving open the option of processing multiple inputs in a frame if we had to. So like if you did a bunch of stuff all at once, we could still process that. You're gonna peace out? No worries. Thanks for hanging out, Commander. We'll be here. Thanks for hanging. I like agonizing over inputs like this because I consider like the two most important things for a game to be like the inputs and the feedback. Because the input is, you know, what you're providing to the game, and the feedback is what you're getting back. Like, in my opinion, that's like the whole thing, right? That's like the whole experience. Obviously, there's stuff happening in the simulation layer. Like, there are things occurring, but in terms of like the quote-unquote interface, that's it to me, is the input and the feedback. which I know is kind of like a truism or whatever. It's not a particularly insightful thing to say, but I think they should, you know, have an outsized presence in your mind, in your thought process. Or maybe I'm wrong. And I should just do what Nyx is suggesting and just assign random default values. To be clear, we will let players change their input preferences. Input map has a very easy way to do that. It's just funny. What do you want to do? You want to make this a ternary? No, because this needs to be more complicated than a ternary. Eventually. Just not at this exact moment. Make the inputs change randomly based on like time of day. Yeah. And mouse coordinates or something. Yeah, that would be good. That'd be funny. Like on opposite day, all of the default inputs just flip to their whatever their inverse is. People would love that. All right, so we need to keep track of our cursor Z level. I guess I can start by just tracking it. And that's something. Why am I having a problem with this? Wait, why is Z level a vector? Oh, I'm dumb. Fesley with the stretch, thank you. You were thinking random buttons every time the game starts up and every encounter? Look, I'm not Bennett Foddy. We're not making a Foddy-like. Not that Bennett Foddy hasn't done that. Bennett Foddy is a great designer. I'm just saying I'm not purposely trying to enrage my players. This is not a rage bait game. I don't make platformers. I do kind of want to add click and drag to move stuff, though. Like, you can select something, and then if you click and drag within the selection, it'll move stuff. And then it should probably release the selection. Or maybe not. I don't know. Actually, maybe if it can detect that you clicked and then didn't drag, maybe then it would remove the selection. All right, so we're just going to keep track of that. So if we're not doing something, so this will be this plus vector3i.z times cursor z level. I wonder what that's going to do. Let's see what that does. Let's see about those apples. It might actually help some of our edge of selection problems. Or maybe not edge of selection, but like edge of object or whatever. Yeah, I think that's actually kind of doing what I want. One way to find out. So this should, if I do this, yeah, so here it'll drop down. If not, it's gonna, oh, too late. Yeah, there we go. So it'll stick to its Z level if it doesn't have anything to compare against. As soon as it has something to compare against, it will do that. But that's why we're going to introduce our shift key, just to control that. Oh, you know what's not happening is we're not doing any kind of offset for Z level. You see how it's like stretched out way behind the cursor? It's because it's looking at the tile map layer, which is underneath the lowest buildable layer. That's where the inputs get mapped to. So we do like this back to front ray trace, the quote unquote ray tracing. And so what it's doing is it's finding the XY coordinate on that back input layer, but then it's not accounting for the additional Z levels. Cool. That's a good thing to change as well. All right, so we know our Z level. So what we need to do, so it's not just game.input.tilemapping.xy, it's game.input.tilemapping.xy. What's the offset? What is the offset as you increase your Z level? Sapphire, it's only been an hour and a half. You think you're out of here? So you couldn't see the whole stream today? Catch the next stream? No worries. No stream on Tuesday. I have a meeting that I can't move. But we'll be back Wednesday. Take it easy, Sapphire. You're under no obligation to be here for the whole stream. Or any stream. But I appreciate you. Hope you have a good weekend. Yeah, I don't want you to worry. Tuesday comes around. You're committed now, almost to 50 streams. I know, it's incredible. It's legitimately crazy. It's really crazy because because of how recently you joined the stream. Your stream watch ratio is insane. Appreciate it. Take it easy. All right, so as you go up, we should probably add the cursor Z level. So could it be game.input.tilemapping.xy, and then instead of plus vector 3.ce times cursor Z level, maybe it's vector 3i.1. aka vector3i.xyz. I think you've only missed one day since you started watching. Didn't break your streak because you were able to save it the next day. I know, I like that. I like that forgiveness system. Been here the whole time. I can't get rid of you. Wouldn't try. Thank you so much, Sapphire. Really appreciate you being a part of the community here. You can only save it once? What does that mean, Nix? Otherwise, you'd be at 45 days now as well. You mean if you miss 2 streams? Or do you mean like watch a stream, miss a stream, save the streak, and then you miss the next stream? Do they not give you that same forgiveness like more than once in like a period of time? The second, you only got it once. Oh, interesting. Huh. That's good to know. Well, thank you for your sacrifice. All right, we're going to build the Z level up here a little bit. This is not how that should be working. Something weird happening there. Okay, why is it like too wide? Why is it all of a sudden like locked to this? When it was just Z, it was kind of correct. So what's going on here? Pesley, instead of constantly starting over to increase the height of the walls, why not add raising and lowering them using the arrow keys? You think that would be nice? That's literally what we're doing with this control thing. It's going to just be the scroll wheel. But it's a good suggestion. And we are implementing it. Not with the arrow keys. Interesting. Yeah, this jump is that Z thing not working correctly. No, it's not your bad. There's no reason you need to be like paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh, okay, so no, now it's not working here either. I did something. It was working for a second. It was giving me 1 layer. And now it's like, I want 2 Z layers. Why is it giving 2 Z layers? Oh, you know what? Are we not recording? No, we are recording it here. This is weird. Horribly compressed part of this song. It's weird. Alright, so why isn't this totally working the way I expect it to? It's got an off by 1 error. And what's really annoying is it was working the way I intended it. And now it's not. Do you add your own X and Y axes to the Z axis? Because that's how it looks. It's not... kind of. That's causing a different problem. So we at the moment we only we only set the Z level to be whatever the Z level is. That's the last block we were able to hit. Oh, you know what? That's exactly the problem. It can't be cursor Z level equals game.input.cursors.z. It needs to be cursor Z level equals game.input.cursor coords.z plus block.get coords block.face game.input.cursor coords dot maybe I'll do it like this. Instead of just constantly referring to this, what's your damage? Oh, I already have that set somewhere else. Right, okay. Maybe we do it this way. You say W. We need to consider the offset. You need to include the offset. Did you help with something? Yeah, it's okay. Nix, an idea. Putting in a shadowy see-through layer in the background whenever the user passes a full layer for mini layer. So people won't be confused and think like 5 mini layers or 1 floor. Well, that's the thing, Nix, and that's part of the reason why we moved away from that old model is I don't actually think I want to prescribe how high a floor is. Because most of the logic is just around compartments. We don't actually, I don't think we need to prescribe how big a floor has to be. I mean, I think we can prescribe how big a floor has to be in the sense of like, a character needs like 3 blocks of headspace to be able to walk upright depending on their size. Or it's like, it would, and that would also be depending on size. So like a humanoid maybe needs 3 blocks of headspace. If they have like 2 blocks of headspace, they crouch. And if they have like 1 block of headspace, they crawl or something like that. But you might then be like, here's a combat robot. It needs 4 blocks of headspace, or it has to like stoop or something. That's even better. You must have missed out on a couple of streams then. No, that's just like nebulous thoughts I've had. We haven't been able to validate any of that or try it. It's just something. It's part of the motivations behind doing this. Was noticing how most of our logic was compartment based rather than being layer based. And I was like, well, then all we need to do is be able to reason about the compartments. Okay, so we're back to correctly locking the Z level here, and we're doing it based on the offset, if there is an offset, which is what we want to see. If there isn't, so like if I got rid of this and we like switched to select mode, so this would work like this, but I think it would also work like this. Yes. Okay, good. But now we're seeing that offset from the cursor that we were trying to fix before, but didn't make sense to me, which is that we're not accounting for, so me moving over 1 tile shouldn't cause that, but it is because we're not accounting for the difference between the input map and the level that we're actually at. Oh, that's interesting. But if I go back up like this, we get like this. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking good. All right, so now I think switching this from Z to 1 will do the thing I expected it to. Do I also want to define XYZ as being the same thing as 1? I think I kind of do. Because I feel like if you're just looking at how this works, you might end up writing XYZ. And I kind of want it to be effectively the same as 1. We'll say public static vector 3i xyz is vector 3i dot 1. Can I say that? Oh, there's no, it's just that. I can just say 1. There's no reason not to support both of those. Where was I? Right here. Hydrate, thanks. Thanks. Hey, Hex, how's it going? All right, this should work now. Whoa. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is actually very good. Notice how whatever Z layer we were on, if I go off, it doesn't freak out anymore. It's like very stable because it remembers the Z level. So if I want to make a new platform, I could actually just do like this. Hell yes. Okay. That's great. And now it's not freaking out. You see it's accounting for the height difference between the Z level we're operating at and the input Z level. If I go out like this, it stays. And then if I cursor over, it adjusts. That should add a lot of stability when we're mousing across the boundary between what the raycast can see and what the raycast can't. All good. How's the refactor? Really great. We added this whole like fake raycast input system that's really neat, where it actually tries to remap your control, or not your, it tries to map where the cursor is based on like the actual block data, like the 3D block data. We're trying to make it work better during edge cases right now. But yeah, this is new as of like this week. It's really good. It's working out. I'm very pleased. Go off, tape. Thanks, Nix. Yeah, this is great. All right. Now we need to add some kind of manual control, right? That's the next thing. I really like that it remembers what Z level we're on. So when I go off here, it doesn't freak out when I go off the back of the block space. That's really excellent. So then I can just be like, blop. The little subtle black lines when you're actually touching a block layer beneath you is nice as well. Definitely makes it easier. So then if I hold control and I go across into this empty space, if I'm holding control, it shouldn't remap. Because right now it's remapping to the wall and then to the floor. But if I'm up here and I hold control while I'm moving my cursor around, I should have direct control over the Z level. You're back? Welcome back. Man, everything's coming up Millhouse today. You got any game jam plans, Hex? I think my first jam of the year is going to be Down to Jam in early March. I need a couple of months to like just get my shit together. Oh no, you forgot your water. I'm gonna need to refill. Don't let me forget to refill my water on the next commercial break. Commercial break? During when ads run. Water is life. Get that water. All right. So I think we're going to have like a control Z level flag. And we can set this somewhere. Hex, you'd love that WebGL support for C# and Godot before any jams you're looking forward to. Yeah. It's coming. I don't think it's going to be 4.6 though. They're very confident it's going to be before 5, but that's not much consolation, right? Because 5 is probably like a year or two away, a couple of years away maybe. Version 5. Yeah. I get wanting that. For me, I'm okay with it. I don't mind just doing the typical GD script experience when I'm game jamming, but I could see how that's frustrating, especially if you want to like actually use your code base. So having to redo everything from scratch every time. All right, so when are we going to set this flag? Who is going to be responsible for this? Also, who is calling this? Excuse me. One usage is out of scope. Yeah, that's fine. Zoom. Oh, Zoom is not right for this. Where do I want to put this? So we have this if input.isKey pressed. Oh, this is hard coded to the shift key. That is not good. Huh. I guess I need to turn that into an action. Say like add to selection. Add shift. Just shift. Yeah, this is why I'm starting to think about moving away from this command pattern input to just like setting up the flags at the top of the frame and then just going through those instead of having this discrete command pattern thing. Will we potentially miss input sometimes? Yeah, maybe. So there's add to selection. Oh, but and then remove from selection. That's going to be alt, we've decided. You've returned. Welcome back, Commander. So instead of input.isKey pressed, we'll say input.isAction pressed. Instead of hard coding that, we'll say add to selection. We won't worry about removing selection yet. Okay, I would need to set that up as a thing we can do. There's some amount of like good standard options I want in this editor, but I'm trying to be very careful to be reasonable. There's totally a world where I basically rewrite a sprite in the game. I don't want to exist in that world. Or more specifically, I don't want to spend the time it would take to like you can definitely overdo it on this tool. But I could totally see the argument of like, well, wouldn't you want to be able to paint the faces? Like make your own textures? It's like, yeah, you could do that. You don't need to be in the game to do that. The game editor should just be... This editor tool should only be for things there's no other way to do. Cough, cough, F512. I was recently debating whether I should title our Lo-Fi Flyby episodes differently. I don't think I'm going to. And that's because I consider Lo-Fi Flyby to be like a sub-project of this. It's like a little side project that exists wholly within the tech and the world of like this bigger game. And I feel like it would pigeonhole me too much to like have to choose and to like go back and forth on that. I think if we were making a totally different game, I think we would want to title it differently. Lo-Fi Flyby. It's like an idea I have for like a side project that's built using all of this tech in this world. It would be like an idle game kind of deal. I want to do a little idle game like Ropika's Idle Island, which is like an adorable game about like a bear, not a bear, a frog, that just goes back and forth between taking naps and cutting his lawn. And I kind of want to do that, but like have it be about like a cargo ship, like a spaceship, and you just have a little pilot who like sleeps on like during the jumps, like during like while the ship is in motion, and then it pulls up somewhere, and the pilot will like load and unload cargo, and then we'll like set off into another destination. Have it be like a little desktop companion app that's just a little like an interior of a spaceship. Like a little cab, like a trucker cab, and like a little cargo bay. Oh, how neat would it be if we only like show the part of the ship that the like character is at? I was wondering how I would constrain that to be like just the size of a little window. I'm realizing I could do like a Bastion style thing where we actually don't display the whole ship. We just display like an area around the player's character. You enjoy the frog? Yeah, the frog is good. How much is it? Oh, Ropika's? I don't know. Like a few bucks. It's not expensive. Very cute. That reminds you a little bit of DevDuck's Road Trip Pomodoro app. Yes. Similar idea. And I think I want to do it for the same reason DevDuck wanted to do that. I want to just put something out that's not just like a jam game. I want to release something, and I want kind of like a vibe check for what I'm making. This game is Ropika's Idle Island is currently $3.99. That's a great. I think that's fine. Yeah, I want to aim to put something out around like $4.99. And I'm calling it Lo-Fi Flyby. And it's going to be kind of like just like a little desktop companion, like little chill applet kind of game. I want to get into that. Can't hurt if you're reusing tech. Oh yeah, it's going to use all the same stuff as this. It's much simpler because it doesn't need to be terribly interactive. Space Trucker idle game would be amazing. Yeah, that's what I want to do, Arneo, essentially. I've never thought about the idea that I could do it Bastion style or whatever, where it's like it only shows you the parts around of the ship that you're like near. That could be neat. I'd probably want to have that as a setting. Hey, OG Rick. Purple Gorilla app vibes. Interesting. I've not heard of that. Oh, it's like a mixtape or a music app. Yeah, that's not. Oh, yeah, that's not that different in terms of vibe. It's not exactly the same, but yeah. I want something like that. I want a chance to like cut my teeth on something like that. Just part of the reason why we made like Bare Necessities and well, mainly that one. I want to get more into like little cozy games. I don't necessarily want to do incremental or like full on like heavily tuned idle games or whatever, but I would like to mess around with that stuff more. I think it would be also neat if you could go into like a lo-fi flyby mode for like your ship, your like big ship in this game. If you want to just like hang out and do like because you know there's always those times in Star Trek where all they're doing is like warping to somewhere and it's going to take like 2 weeks and they're just like hanging out. I think it would be neat if you could engage in a mode like that and just watch people go through the ship in their like little day-to-day lives and not have to do anything. I think that'd be neat. Every dollar is expensive for you. You're living in hell. It sucks. If you need a tester, you're here. Oh yeah. I'm very much believe in like public development. So as soon as stuff is playable, it's gonna be free on itch from me. So yeah, don't worry about that. We'll release that stuff. There is a Discord where you can get notifications for stuff like that, like they have stream or like game updates, things like that. Arneo, you think seeing where the frog is flying would be important though? Like the frog is sleeping in the chair while space stuff whizzes by the cockpit window. Something like that would be pretty neat too. I definitely would want little like background stuff, even if it's just like parallaxing stars. I think I would do parallaxing stars because the idea of a desktop companion is to not like fully obscure the screen. OG Rick is Scotty McDuber? Really? Nice. I appreciate you too having like a old western like cowboy standoff in the YouTube chat. We meet at last. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. I appreciate you curbing your enthusiasm today, McDuber, with the stream notifications. I noticed. Appreciate that. Hey! Your name is going to be really hard to pronounce, but I'm going to make a very genuine attempt to do it right now. Matasmatulianis. Hello, what's the experience like working with C# for Godot? Have you worked with GDScript and could compare? Yeah, I've done both. This project actually has both. We use both. I would not recommend doing that in one project. Pick a lane. Or pick a struggle, as the kids say. I like it. I think it's a personal preference thing. GDScript is much more tightly integrated into the API. So if most of what you're doing is just making API calls into the Godot engine, like doing like .move and slide or whatever, I think if you're mostly going to be just doing typical scripting stuff, GDScript is fine. There's some major downsides to C# right now, which is like you can't do web exports with it, which is a deal breaker for almost anyone who's trying to do like game jams. So I would say default should be GDScript. I would say use C# if you are really comfortable with C# and you don't want to learn GDScript and you're okay not being able to do web exports. And you're also okay with the consequences of crossing the managed memory barrier between the unmanaged and the managed parts of the code. Because C# is a managed language, but if you're doing just C++ and like GDScript and Godot, you're in the unmanaged part. So there is a cost to doing it. Nix, this stream ain't big enough for the both of us. I'm calling you out. Yeah, how's it going? Happy Saturday. What kind of stuff are you doing in Godot? Hex to start. Reusing all of your jam games sit within the same Unity project with a large common util section and a custom toolbar to switch between sub-projects by overwriting settings. You'll probably try the same approach with Godot. That is neat. That is super neat. And you can keep most of that code. I mean, you'll have to re-implement stuff that like is Unity API specific, but like Sorcery Story, for example, kept a lot of their code base when they switched from Unity to Godot. They've told me. So yeah, you should be able to do that. That'd be cool. You already ported some of it? Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have that. For all the years I spent using Unity, the last like 3 or 4 were all like .ccs stuff, which is like deeply unhelpful. Instagram just got hacked? What, like the whole company? The whole program? It's weird. Hex, you were worried initially if it won't become too bloated. OG Rick, straight up managing your unmanaged. I know. I try to get around that a lot. When I'm sending stuff back and forth, I try to just send like blittable. I try to only send primitive arrays back and forth, because if you send primitive arrays back and forth, I think the compiler can like do some like pinning stuff. And if they're blittable, it should be trivial anyway. So like, yeah, I'm conscious of that, but I would also consider thinking about that too hard, very much premature optimization. Because it's almost never going to matter if you're like in C# and you're like calling into the Godot API. That'll almost never matter at all. Phone numbers, passwords, addresses. Crazy. Well, I assume they've done a lot of things like, you know, honestly, I would get rid of my Instagram if I didn't enjoy all the dog videos, the dog reels. But yeah, good call out. I'll have to look into that after this. I assume they're doing some mitigation. But Hex to start. Literally all of your about 17 games sit there in that shared project, and it doesn't take ages to load. That is incredible, because I've seen your stuff. You have some like 3D stuff. Oh, specifically the hackers are sending emails for password resets. Change it in your app. Interesting. All right, I'll do that, I guess. I never have to log in because it's all just cached in the app. Okay, well, PSA complete. Go change your Instagram password in the app. Thanks for the news. Commander, you need to get multiple in-game language and controller support in your game soon. Why? Why soon? That sounds like stuff that you would do at the end of the development. I mean, controller support. Yeah, you should actually be thinking about controller support from like day one. Johnny, love the game. How did you start streaming? Any advice? Yo, hey, Fesley, you made it over to YouTube. Hex, gotta look into password managers someday. Yeah, I'm concerned about that stuff too. And like, what are they called? What's the thing now that people have? It's like a pass key. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Johnny, I appreciate that. Your questions were, how did you start streaming? Any advices? The like joking way is to say, I just hit go live, but obviously it's not that simple. I set a schedule. So I set like a schedule, like 5 days. I started slow. You can kind of see it if you look back in like the playlist of the live stream. I started out just streaming for like an hour and a half. I did it like 4 or 5, maybe I even only did it 3 or 4 days a week, but I like set a schedule. Because like accountability, the stream is like almost a positive feedback loop in terms of accountability. Like doing the stream makes you more likely to keep doing the stream. It's like going to the gym. But yeah, I've just kind of, it's a muscle. Streaming is like a muscle and you have to like exercise it, and you have to like exercise it responsibly. Like don't push yourself. So like now my streams are usually like 2.5, 3 hours. I worked my way up. I'll probably eventually work my way up to like 3.5 to 4 hours. I'm kind of just, it's kind of neat because my game development and my stream are both growing like together, which is really interesting. Like the sophistication of both there, it's all like growing together. Commander, soon because they are both important. Hate to actually, multiple in-game language support is pretty tough to get right, so you might as well begin to think about it now. Oh yeah, thinking about it's good. Like, don't hard code your strings. Have like indirect string lookup. Have like a spreadsheet of like, here's the line, and then here's the line in like this language, here's the line in this language, here's the line in this language, here's like the key to this line. Don't hard code anything in terms of strings. And then it's a lot easier. So yeah, from an architectural standpoint, I'm sorry, I was not meaning to be dismissive. I was distinguishing in my mind silently the difference between like the architectural openness to being able to do that and putting in the work to actually do that. I think it is super important to think of controller support and localization, which is usually the shorthand term for multiple languages. You definitely want to plan for it early. But in my mind, planning for something is way different than like actually doing the work. You just meant English and Spanish, not that many languages. Yeah, but there's some problems that can come up for sure. Like English and Spanish should be pretty easy because they're both, Latin scripts and they actually, share a lot. But as soon as you're like, let me throw in simplified Chinese, which every developer should have simplified Chinese in their games. If you're doing like a full commercial release game, like if you can afford it, localization is expensive. And machine translation will only get you so far. Godot has some localization support built in. Yes, I think so. I've never used it. Hey, Skywalk. Fesley, thanks for dipping your toes into the YouTube. I appreciate you padding our stats here a little bit. I said I was going to go get more water on my second commercial break. I'm going to do that right now. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch up on chat when I get back. Thanks for the stretch and the hydrate, Fesley. We back. Skywalk, you plan for localization strings and yet to do it. Yeah, and it's tough. You also have to think in terms of UI because, you know, a line in English might be a totally different length than the same line in Japanese, right? And like your UI needs to be able to adapt to that too. Which Godot is really good because Godot lets you use anchors and stuff. Hex, just hard code strings and code, translate all the code, easy. Johnny, have a schedule, keep it organic. Thanks a bunch. Yeah, just take it day by day, you know. I never expected, we're about to hit our second or our third year. We're about to finish 2 years. We started in February of 2024. It is January of 2026. And yeah, you nailed it. Have a schedule, keep it organic. Like make a commitment, but be patient and flexible with yourself. Like it's like, you know, don't over exercise because you'll injure yourself and then you'll lose it and then you won't get it back for a time. You can totally get into that loop, right? But yeah, if you do, we have a Discord. Or even just hop back in here. If you start streaming, let me know. I would love to see what kind of stuff you're working on. We're live streaming between Twitch and YouTube. Like the technical aspect of streaming is much easier than just like the self-discipline and actually doing it. Oh, you've done some simplified Chinese stuff in your game before, Commander? Yeah, nice. Now you want to start streaming again? Do it. Do it, Commander. For me, it's what's kept this project on track for me. Having a schedule. Because I've done game dev projects, you know. And like jams, whatever. You do a jam, the jam's over. But like doing a long-term project like this, I've never had one that's gotten this far, really. And I credit a lot of that to the accountability around streaming that I've gotten from streaming. From having a schedule and sticking to it. And yeah, it's really neat to watch your stream and your games kind of grow side by side. It's really nice. It takes a lot of the pressure off because it's not like when you start streaming, you're going to stream to no one, right? You build the community, you build the audience, and you build the game. So it's really nice because like the more people have come in, the better prepared I've been and the more stuff I have to show. Which means like more people are likely to stay, which means more people are likely to come in. Like I'm starting to see the beginning of like a curve, which is really nice and super motivating. Long-term projects are best, not gonna lie, Fesley. I like long-term projects. When we started doing the streams, I also started doing game jams, which I'd never done before. I love a good game jam because there's some stuff that you can only learn from finishing a project. From going through the whole cycle of making a project from beginning to end and then putting it in players' hands. And game jams are such a nice, short way to do that, to go through the whole cycle, which is not something you get from a long-term project. So I would do both. I think the only thing to avoid would be medium-length projects. I'm like, long-term projects, great. Short-term projects, great. My weak spot is like, I don't know how to make a game in 6 months to a year. I don't know how to do that. I think I know how to make a game in like 3 days, and I think I know how to make a game in like 6 years. I don't know how to hit the metal. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. Yeah, thanks, Johnny. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck. Good luck with what you're doing. Please, you know, share with us how that goes for you. You have a long-term project, but very, very long-term. I think that's fine. That's this. This is probably like an 8 to 9 year project that we're, you know, 2 years into. This is honestly is probably a 10-year project before I'm like totally done with it. Like I'm doing the like, you know, I want to work on a game for 10 years thing, which is crazy and is not something someone should do. But, you know, do as I say, not as I do. If I was really on it, I would be trying to learn how to make a game in like 6 months or a year. Just because at this point in this environment, if you're trying to be a commercial game dev, you just need more rolls of the dice. You just need shots. You need to go up and take a shot and then take another shot. Like, you need as many chances at bat as possible to continue using sports analogies of some kind. I'm doing kind of the opposite. I'm like building up I'm trying to not hedge my bets, but I'm trying to like put my finger on the scale as far as like controlling the likelihood that I roll something good, which is different. It's a different way to approach it. What were we doing? We were doing something. Oh yeah, we're messing around with inputs. Hex, you started with long-term projects, never finished anything. Game Jam's finally forced you to finish stuff. Yeah, now you've done 17 games. You're hoping to come back to long-term, see if the finishing experience paid off? I think it will. I think you'll find you'll move a lot faster. And you make a lot more confident judgment calls quickly. I think it'll be I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff you put out. Arneo, unless you're making like the next Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress has been going for 22 or 23 years or something like that. Maybe 22. I think it's officially started in like 2002 or something. It probably goes back even farther because it goes all the way back to Armok or whatever. Like they have a continual lineage of like game development, and like that's one of those like games that nobody can compare themselves to. It's like, yeah, just start making a game with your brother and keep working on it for 2 decades. Commander, you have a really fast iteration speed typically. If you didn't have crippling issues regarding finishing your projects, you could finish your projects in about 3 to 6 months. I think that's optimal. That's great. I mean, in terms of like timing. Oh, Fesley, another OS dev. Oh, meet Mr. Magoo. We have an OS dev in here. You're creating a simple universal Linux distro for those switching from Windows to Linux. Ooh. For example, Pac-Man and Arch Linux will be pop in your language. It'll be a simpler language that doesn't require excessive memorization. Interesting. I would be interested to see how that works out. I think I'm going to start diving into Linux stuff with an old computer I've got soon. All right, so what am I doing? I'm trying to engage this shift mode. Not shift, control. Oh, you know what? We can treat this as a first class input. We can say edit. We can say edit. It wouldn't be tool. Actually, I think this might be view. Might be view level. Here, maybe it's this. Maybe it's like lf input.is action just pressed. What did we call this? Z level up or down? Z level. Z level down. True. I think true constrains it to require either a modify key or a lack of a modifier key. Start with Zorin OS if you can. You really like it? Okay, I'll check that out. Hey, Magoo. Hey, Magoo. Meet a Fesley, an OS dev. Another OS dev. Commander, you think you'll do a game dev stream around 6 p.m. your time? Sounds like fun. Yeah, go for it. We have a Go Live channel in the Discord. Feel free to put a notification in there. What do we call that channel? We call it Share Your Channels. So yeah, people could totally... Please do. Oh. Hell yeah. Someone took a screenshot of... Oh wow, the live stream. I'm at 79 people watching. My widget's broken. I can't tell how many people are on the YouTube. I thought it was just a regular day and we probably had like 20 people. There was like 80 people on there? My lord. Hello. Hi, YouTube. You're so quiet sometimes. I get confused about how many people are there. Happy Saturday. But yeah, I think the more important thing about that screenshot was that you managed to screenshot me with 666 subscribers, which is like amazing. I hope it's still that. I need to take a picture. I need to take a screen cap of that. Oh no, it's 668 now. Dang. Oh, thank you. Thank you for capturing the magic moment. I have 121 live viewers on YouTube. No way. No way. No way. You're just like trolling me. No way. There's 120 people on there. Oh no. Arneo says it is too. Oh my lord. Hi, Mom. All right. So we're gonna try to read out this additional input here. All right. Don't be nervous. This is fine. All right. View. Level. -1. Y'all are making me blush. Our previous record for simultaneous for peak viewers is like 40. Y'all are wild. Hey, Voidblit. Proud of you. Thank you, Ojirek. Yeah, YouTube has been really good to me in terms of getting people impressions, getting people towards the channel. Yeah, we're working on an FTL-like in Godot. I'm working on some input stuff. We're working on a tool that lets us build out block spaces, which are going to become the compartments and stuff of like spaceships. Let's see if this breaks everything. We'll hook in these new inputs. I realize if you're scrolling, well, you might be doing other things, but this is again why I kind of want to move away from a discrete command pattern input system and move more towards flags. Because then I can react to a combination of flags than having to process individual discrete inputs. All right. So yeah, we're working right now. We recently added in a quote unquote raycast system because this is all tile maps. So this is all 2D. This is all fake 3D fakery. And we recently added in a, like this week, we've added in like a cursor based like raycast system that lets us do really neat stuff. But now what we want to do is we want to add an alternative so you don't have to use the cursor. Because there's some situations where it would be really hard to do what you're trying to do with cursor raycasting. So I want to add in a manual control so that if you like launch off of this Z level, so like right now it's like I want to be the whole space, but I really want a system that where you could hold a key and like lock it. So that's kind of what we're implementing right now for anyone who's come in and is like, what are we doing? But yeah, the cursor stuff, the cursor based stuff has worked really well. I'm really pleased. I already used my allotted everything's coming up Millhouse today, but it really feels like it. Hey, Cubus, how's it going? Yeah, I think I already explained how it's going for me. How have you been? Happy New Year. I don't think I've seen you. Appreciate all the kind words, everybody. I appreciate all the new viewers. and the new subscribers. That's the other thing. That's the other thing I should have probably mentioned to Johnny, because I mostly talked about, hey, Ziga, thank you for the follow. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. Johnny was asking about like how to stream or how to start streaming or like any advice I had. And I talked about accountability and schedules and everything like that. And what I didn't talk about was how like you all are like I feel like y'all are like a cheat. Like I'm cheating. Like you're a cheat system for me to be able to make this game, because like there's a lot of days where I don't want to do it. Like I'm tired. I'm in a bad mood. Like I don't want to do game dev. But I go live, and within like an hour, everyone's in here, and like I feel good. Like y'all are like a cheat code for like motivation, which is real strong, and which I am very grateful for. All right, so what we kind of want to do, we kind of want to process this discrete. Maybe we start moving away from this discrete command model thing. If we do that, where do we start doing all this flag setting? I mean, I guess we do it in the game script, in the like root game script. Ziga, welcome into the chat. What do you think of the C# integration with Godot at this point? You haven't looked into it in a few years. It's pretty solid. Especially if you're using something like Writer, because like Writer, JetBrains has been adding a lot of support for GDScript, which I don't use Writer for, but there's plugins now. I haven't tried using another IDE with C# and Godot just because I come from Unity originally. So for one thing, I just already had a JetBrains Writer subscription that I've held on to for like, you know, to get that low price that you get when you keep it up. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's still issues. There's still no web export. So if you're mostly using Godot for like game jams, don't mess with C# yet. Wait a couple more versions until they get web export in there. But otherwise, I would say just use the language you're comfortable with. If that's C#, I don't think there's anything stopping you. If it's Rust, you can use Rust bindings with C#, or not with C#, but with Godot now. It's like Godot has become a very language agnostic. Oh, the other thing is Godot supports like any modern version of .NET now. So unlike my experience with Unity, I can just put on a new version of .NET when it comes out. Like Godot has like day 0 support for the newest versions of .NET and C#, which is awesome. But yeah, the web export issue is like a huge hang up for a lot of people. Oh my god. Automod. Automod like held your message because you used the word NuGet. Does it play well with NuGet? I think so. I'm actually going to make my first NuGet packages soon, because this project uses an entity component system that I wrote. And right now it's tightly coupled to the project that I'm using it in, but I want to set it as a package. So I'm actually gonna, I have to take a pass on like telling you how well it works. I can download and use NuGet packages easily. I haven't done a lot of package publishing yet with this. Yeah, your message got caught by the chat filter. Yeah, that's too funny. Cubis, you should stream then. You tried it twice. It's quite a lot of pressure if you've never done it before. And with 0 views, it's awkward at the same time. You will not have 0 views for very long. There's actually a lot of people that only want to come in and watch people with like no viewers. I learned that when I started. There's a lot of people who were like, I want to support the new streamers, and then as soon as you get any level of audience, I'm out of here. So there were people that will shepherd you along that journey. I'll do it. I feel like I've seen you stream before. Maybe not. Maybe I've just seen videos that you've shown of like content. Looks awesome. You love seeing this much C# in a Godot project. You might finally jump into Godot soon. Yeah, do it. Do it. We still use GDScript. When I'm doing a game jam, everything is GDScript. And we actually do have GDScript in this project. I would not mix. I would not mix and match. I would go one or the other, would be maybe my thing. Johnny, have you ever feared of disappointing the people watching? You feel like that's where you would probably struggle. That only happens to me when I get raided by someone huge. Like when Lana comes in with like, when like Lana Lux raids me with like 300 viewers and I like fall apart or something like that. So I'm vulnerable to that with raids for sure. And yeah, it's something you just get comfortable with. Hey, Trevoron. Speaking of raids. Trevoron. Raid alert. Repel borders. How's it going, Trevoron? Not you disappearing when I turn. To be clear, I haven't taken off yet, Cubus, but yeah. Yo, what up? Why no mix? You were thinking about GDScript for gameplay scripting and C# for core functionality. That would be okay. I think that would be okay, Hex. My problem is if you want the GDScript to talk to the C#, that is hard. That is hard because the GDScript doesn't know about any of the C# data structures. So even trying to define a shared enum is hard because GDScript thinks about enums totally different than the way C# does. Like, and unless you want to create 2 of every kind of data structure, I've found it's hard to talk back and forth, which is why right now our inputs are just these arrays of strings, which is really dumb. But it's very generic, and GDScript doesn't need to know about my data structures. And it just sends in, here are the params, C#, you figure out what this means, you parse it out. You're going good, Trevoron. You're just trying a new digital audio workstation today. Trying to prepare to ditch Windows. Oh, that's good. That's cool. I want to do more audio this year. What kind of DAW have you been using? Fullbox, you're a clip leader. Elder Spy, love you some FTL. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we're doing an isometric 2D kind of FTL-like kind of deal. How's it going, Fullbox? I've been looking around for you the last couple mornings. I've been like, oh, I want to hang out in Fullbox's stream. I haven't seen you, which maybe means I just missed you. But I was like, I want to see some juicy game dev. Where's Fullbox? I want to find, where's my juice box? Ziga, good luck. You just switched to Linux permanently. You've been playing with LMMS. I can't say that. 140 live viewers, Commander Apollo. That can't be right. That can't be right. That has to be like a... Maybe it doesn't remove people from the concurrent viewer thing. I don't know. Wild. You normally use Ableton, Trevoron. You've been trying out Bitwig. Ooh, Bitwig. That sounds fun. Bitwig. You jumped in blind. You really like it so far? I'm going to bookmark that. I'm still looking for what I want to use. I think I've talked about it. I'm sure we have at some point. I think I've talked about some of the DAWs I want to try. I kind of want to try some more soundscapey stuff, so I wanted to try, I think it's called like Bespoke, which is not a traditional DAW. I want to try some soundscape kind of things. Bespoke is dope. Awesome. Thanks, Commander. Thank you for documenting this. It's crazy. This is funny. This is the one stream where my YouTube live control panel is totally broken, which happens sometimes when I don't check it before launching the stream. Of course, this is the time we blew up. But yeah, we're working on an isometric 2D FTL-like game. We're working on some tools. We recently added a really neat raycast system, which lets us like identify what face of a block we're on. And now we're working on supplementing that. Gotta make some dinner. Oh yeah, no, sorry. You do what you gotta do. Let me give you the shout out. Don't hang around on my account. But yeah, we're trying to make these block spaces that are compartmentalized. But we recently, it used to be your Z level was locked in, but now it's like this very fancy like raycast system that can like tell and offset where you are. And it can even track your Z level as you like go off into nothing, which is fun. But yeah, it uses that to make it easier to like place things. But yeah, what I also want to do is I want to be able to manually control the Z level, and that's kind of what we're adding. Because right now it's totally based on your cursor, what block your cursor is facing. So yeah, there's limits to what we're able to do at the moment, but I want to add some manual controls to it. Also because of some of these awkward situations where you're like trying to draw just inside. Like if you wanted to draw this, you can't really do it unless you do like this. But I want you to be able to scroll up and increase the Z level. So yeah, we're working on some stuff around that. I just added the inputs. Now I need to hook them in a little bit better. Don't need to show people FTL. Hex, you played a bit with Bespoke. It was fun. For a project, you've only used it to create some wind ambience so far. The method was quite node-based to start with. You're an audio amateur. I am very much an audio amateur. YouTube stonks growing. All you need to do now is a clip a rant about AI. No, thanks. No, yeah, YouTube. I think YouTube really wants to get into the live stream game. I think a lot more people are looking for that on the platform than they used to be, which is awesome. It's definitely a quieter platform, which I'm okay with. Like a lot of people are watching in the background and don't want to be fully active in chat, and I think that's great too. I think it's fine. This is supposed to be kind of a chill, kind of co-working space. People to hang out, people working on their weekend projects, people like moonlighting as game devs. That's what I'm doing. I have a day job. All right, why am I in my entity component system? As I was talking about it. So what we want to do, so I actually don't think I need this control Z level flag. Maybe I do. I think for now what we can do is we can have the cursor mapping system consume the input. Your hobby project, toolbox. You still scope creeping? Or are you moved on to something? You got a side project going? Still scope creeping? Nice. Oh, I wanted to tell you, we need you to start hosting a Godot con in Canada. Demo coming soon? February 2nd? Hell yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Very exciting. We're gonna go check out Scope Creep game. You got a Steam page for that up yet? Scope Creep on Steam. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is good stuff. I'll drop a link. You need dinner before you stream? Goodbye. Have a good one. Yeah, good luck tonight. You voted Montreal for the next Godot con? Yeah, I heard that there's going to be one in Amsterdam. And I've been assured that there will be 3 Godot events this year. 2 Godot cons and 1 Godot Fest. And the Godot Fest is always in Munich. There's at least 1 Godot con in Amsterdam. It sounds like the intent originally, as of last year, was to do Boston again, which is fine with me. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable traveling to America. I don't want to get into that because it's true. And I am ashamed. But I was like, well, what about Canada? Everyone loves Canada. I was like, Foolbox could host a Godot con in Montreal. We're all coming over for Godot con Montreal, Foolbox. Get ready. But yeah, this game looks so awesome. I hope you do well with this. I've been watching a lot of like Aramis's content about their how to feed a black hole, or a game about how to feed a black hole or whatever. I hope you dial into a similar I hope people are as ready for this game as they were ready for that. It's so juicy. You're so good at adding the... Ooh, I love that little constructed language or whatever. Whatever little fake language the little flame guys said. That looked nice. Everyone, we'll have Godot Con in the full box? Yeah, that sounds good. You hope you get some traction too? Yeah, I really do. I hope. This is good stuff. I'm not signed in. Oh, no, maybe I am signed in. I thought I wishlisted this already. It says I haven't. I'm going to make sure I did. But I'm going to do it in a way that doesn't, like, prompt me to, like, log in. Okay, no, it was good. Wishlisted. Yeah, everyone go wishlist that. You're redoing the trailer and screenshots right now? Nice. Nice. It sounds like you're getting the demo out in time for the February Next Fest. Have you entered that? Or are you hedging your bet a little bit on that one? All right, so what we need to do... So we are passing in the input. I know we're technically supposed to be working on a game, but it's Saturday. We have so many people hanging out with us. Releasing demo like 3 weeks prior. I think that's good. It gives you time, because I heard from, like, I think it was like the Butterscotch Shenanigan guys or something who did like, they did like their Crashlands 2 demo, and it came out like just as Next Fest started, and they had like a crucial bug, which was like the game would default to utilize the embedded graphics. And they didn't notice, and it like destroyed their Next Fest. And I'm like, I would be so terrified putting a Steam demo out just at Next Fest. So yeah, I think 3-week lead time is really smart. Get out, iron out any bugs. What they were describing sounded like the nightmare scenario. All right, so if we increase this input, this can just be a flag that's like level down. You know, I could probably consume this input in the cursor mapping system. And then I don't need to care if I'm in control mode or whatever. It'll just work. So what if I do this? So here's the thing though. And you can contact influencers and all. You get the initial push that can help in Next Fest. Oh, okay, yeah. You're like building up momentum. That sounds good. Hey, Fesley. Welcome back. All right, I'm not quite sure where to shunt in this override. I'm going to play around with the system for a minute and think about it. Got any jams planned soon? I think my first one this year. So if I do this, I think my first one this year is going to be Down to Jam in early March. I really like Down to Jam. And then I'll probably try to do Ludum Dare in April. I think that'll be my spring jam schedule. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so if I start doing like, if I start like dragging across like this, and I do it while holding, so if I start holding control, then it should start modifying the Z level. So it really is, it would be like a way of overwriting the Z level. So it should be sustained for as long as I'm holding control. And it should affect the current cursor chord, not the anchor chord. If there is an anchor chord. Okay. So when would I do that? Thanks, Dave, for festering a hive for OS devs. Yeah, that was accidental, but you know, it's all right with me. I like people that don't want to build stuff themselves. All right, so the idea. So if I do this and I start holding control, and then I start moving down like this. I guess if we detect this input, we should sustain it until it's released. Like if we detect that we're supposed to be manually altering the Z level with just the scroll wheel, we should stop. I kind of want to stop the cursor mapping system altogether. But that's where we're just setting up the cursor, so we can't do that. We just have to try to alter. Thanks for the hydrate and the stretch, Besley. Appreciate that. Okay, so I think the way we want to do it. So we go through. So this whole block is like where we build the cursor block hit list, which is like we basically spiral up. There is a tile map layer that it's the very back, the bottom and back of the, I'd say the bottom is maybe more accurate. It's underlying the whole block space. There's a single tile map layer that we map input onto. And then what we do is we spiral up from the back. We basically do like a reverse raycast. We spiral up from the back. So if this is like the 2D tile map, then if we're on like the left-hand side of it, so if our input is on like the left side of this tile, what we do is we determine both the block that the cursor is on and the face of the next block, which also is the face that the cursor is on. So we figure out the block and the face. So here it's 4, which is for priority reasons, which is like, it could be this block, but if there's a block here, that takes higher priority because it's in front. Similarly, if there's a block here, that takes higher priority because it's in front, etc. Until we get to this block, and then that starts over. So it's this kind of spiral, and you'll notice that this spiral is counterclockwise from our perspective. And then if we're on the right side of the tile map layer, we do the same thing, but it's a clockwise spiral, not a counterclockwise spiral. Right. So that's kind of what we're doing. That's working well. What we want to do is we want to have a way to suspend that in terms of selecting the Z level, so you can manually scroll through the Z levels. Fullbox, I do the hard jams. Yeah, I like the short jams. I do the short jams. I also like solo developer jam. But I probably won't do that one until the summer. Yeah, those are probably my 3 favorite jams: is Ludum Dare, Down to Jam, and the solo development jams. They're all similar. They're all like, you know, about 3 days. They have modes where you're required to make all the assets versus modes where you're allowed to use other assets. Do TryJam? Maybe. When's TryJam? I only really do jams that has support for a... Oh, that's the 3-hour game jam? No way. I'm not doing that. Is that usually in February? That's Trijam is crazy. I like 3 days. I don't want 3 hours. It's impressive though. It's impressive as heck. I would need to have a code templates and stuff. You said you like short jams. You're like, what do you mean? I thought you like short jams. All right. I don't like very short jams. But I don't like long jams either. I want to try a Godot wild jam this year. Maybe not this, well, maybe this year. I want to try a Godot wild jam. A Godot wild jam is like 9 days or something like that. It's like a weekend, then a week, and then a weekend again, or a work week. So it's like I could take it chill for the first 7 days, and then I could treat the final weekend as if it was like a marathon, as if it was like a 72-hour jam or something like that. Like I can still get in my crazy person all-nighter style. Godot wild jam is like 1 week. Yeah, it's like, yeah, like 9 days. Snick's 3-hour game jam. Can't even come up with a name in that time. Seriously. I don't even think I could pick what I'd want to make in 3 hours. Like our like ideation when we game jam is easily 3 or 4 hours. Weekends are not 72 hours. They are if you start Friday. No, you're generally right. I like a good Friday to Monday game jam, where you start like midday Friday and end midday Monday. I can usually swing that with work. You lied, you're back. Welcome back, Commander. Give an OS dev 3 hours, they'll break 563 things and fix 1. Nice. That's kind of how I do my work too. All right, so how are we going to stop this? So right now, we basically say if the cursor block hit list.count is greater than 0. We also need to say, like, I think we need the view system to run. And we need a queue. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't like my input model anymore. I kind of want to think of something different other than my, like, command pattern input. I really do think I want to, like hard code everything into, like, the input, the game.input class, which is like a global that just gets reset every frame. You can definitely make a button that plays fart SFX in 3 hours. Toolbox, is that a game? It could be. Nix, give you 3 hours to develop a game, you'll sleep through all of it? Seriously. Oh no, your Home Assistant smart radio is broken. It's been on full for the past 3 nights. That sounds nice. That sounds toasty. All right. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I have some command queues for processing inputs. That was like to hedge my bets in case like we absorb more commands, more than 1 command per frame. But I may be okay with not worrying about that. You like your room to be 60 degrees? That's crazy. Why have a radiator at all then? I like mid to high 60s Fahrenheit. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with that. There's probably a way I can do this in the short term that's acceptable. Yeah, let's just do something in the short term. So, level up or down. This function still exists? Yeah, I don't want to, we're not going to do that. This is not move Z level up or down. Zoom would be, oh, we don't even process zoom. Let's move stuff around here. I'm going to move this up here. gonna get rid of this case for now. So we need to call move Z level up or down. We also need to... So that move Z level up or down... I don't think I actually want to do this that way. I think all we want to do is let's set up some like input. We can say control... We can say control Z level. We can set control Z. Actually, we don't even need to set control Z level. We could say public int... We could say Z level delta or something. It doesn't need to be an int. We could say Z level direction. We could write out. So we could say. We can just say game.input.z level direction equals int.parse command.next step. You can't believe I've been streaming for 3 hours already. Me either. Me either. Oh, I don't need to say game. We are in game already. So I think we're just gonna set a Z level direction, and then we can just have like a... This isn't actually going to totally work, is it? We would need to reset this every frame. Well, we can just do that up here. This is stupid, and I should not do it this way. Well, this is if output.views.count is greater than 0. That is not what I want. I want to do this during the... I want to do this when we're pulling input in, not out. Q input, edit. Does the block editor system read input? Oh, it totally does. Okay, so you could pull this out. Hey, nice VR. All right, bye, nice VR. Follow the rules, you're gonna get blasted. Damn it, Dave. I made you re-download Godot.
Dead, Jim.
Nice, nice. Cool, Ziga. That's awesome. I'm glad. Give it a try. Are you normally in Unity then? If you like C#, that's what I'm presuming. Godot's really good. You're gonna like the Godot node scene model way better than the Unity. Oh, normally you're SDL2 array lib. Oh, you're a real gamer. Okay. Cool. All right. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I feel like the way I want to do this is totally clashing with how my input model currently works, which was written to be very discrete. I'm not quite sure how I want to handle this instead. I don't even think view system is currently running. Like, I don't think we're calling it. No, we aren't. No one's calling the review system run. Which is not good. Someone is going to need to eventually. So maybe that's my fault here. So maybe we need to start running the view system again. This isn't really a view change, though. shift scroll. It really is an edit change. So let me fix that. Let's move that down here. We'll say edit. It's not a tool change though. So we could say edit. We could say cursor. Oh, we could also just say Z level. And then we could include a direction. So let's do that. Let's say we can put it down here at the bottom. Yeah, let's move those down into the edit mode. Because I feel like that's going to do a different thing than edit mode than in play mode. Oh, that click drag was really nice. Odrick, what do you think is the Hall of Fame of free tools for this kind of work? Like for game dev in general or something more specific? All right, so we're not going to worry about the view system. What we're going to do is in here, we'll have a Z level. We'll say case command.arg.z level. There isn't a command.arg.z level, so we're going to make one. Finishing a game, art, music, and all. For you, it's Godot, Blender, and Obsidian. Oh, okay. For me, well, yeah, I haven't done a lot of music stuff, so for me, it's been Godot and Sprite. I haven't used Obsidian for a lot. I do like it. I haven't really gotten into it. I think once I do more writing with like writing text, I think I'll like Obsidian more in terms of like initial ideating. I'll need a different tool for actually storing strings. Ziga, you support everything about Godot. You just never got around to doing something real with it. You used to like Unity like 10 years ago. You stopped because of their business practices. You stopped 10 years ago because of their business practices? You are ahead of the curve, my friend. Arnio, everybody rate your explosion on the Discord. You promise not to spam videos so much for the next week. You'll be working on less visual things. No, go for it. I mean, yeah, as long as it's not the technical definition of spam. Yeah, we'll check out. I enjoy the videos you put out. I really like the visuals of your game. Sprite is free. Yeah, you can get it for free if you compile it yourself. But yeah, it's totally free. I got it through Humble Bundle, which I would not recommend because it's a lot more annoying to keep updated. I wish I had just gotten it through Steam, because then Steam would just keep it updated. Free for compilation. I know, isn't that a beautiful thing? All right, so if we get a Z level command, this normally just passes along. You know what? Maybe I want a cursor command, actually. Let's say case command.arg.cursor. Well, no, forget it. We're not gonna define this as an easy thing here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say Z level, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say .game.input. We'll say cursor. No, it's not cursor chords. Oh, maybe it could be. No, what we could do is we could say Z level direction. The difference is that I need to reset. I would need to reset it every frame. So we would just say game.input.zLevelDirection equals 0. I don't want to necessarily change Z level every single frame, so I will need to add some kind of accumulator or some kind of cooldown to being able to use the Z level, but I'm just going to be careful for right now. So we're going to say it's going to be int.parse command.next.step. Yeah, we're just gonna set a flag because that's kind of the direction I've been heading. which is nice. And it would almost be better to use queries and like tag components on like an entity, but I don't want to have an input entity because that's essentially just a singularity. Trevoron, you had to run. How's it going? How's the game coming? You haven't been on Twitch much a long while now. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. Oh, we're heading into ads again. I actually want to not do that. We're going to snooze. We got about 5 minutes of pre-rolls left. You got to go. Take care. Thanks, Hex. Take it easy. We're doing good. We have this whole neat editor that we've been making a lot better. So we have like a raycast now, like a fake raycast, so we can figure out where the cursor is against the backdrop of the blocks and stuff, and it makes building easier. But I'm also trying to add in a manual Z layer because you saw I had to do that in 3 layers right now. I had to like make each layer, but now I can go onto this side and just do it in 1. But I need to add a scroll wheel mechanism that lets me do that manually. So that's what I'm working on. That looks cool. It's complicated. It's I appreciate that, Ziga. It's a lot of tile map layers. It's basically a tile map layer for each face, and then another tile map layer for each like vertical level. So there's like 100 tile map layers involved in like the total rendering of this thing, which from a performance standpoint is like nothing, but it lets us do this really. We also have a complex auto tiler that looks at the 3D block space and determines how the tiles should be rendered. We also have a cutaway system that is not working right now, but man, it's going to look good when it does. Is that what the 4th components of the vector is for? The face, you mean? Kind of. Yeah, for the cursor coords, the 4th component is it's an enum for the direction for the face. So it's like X face, Y face, or Z face. And that also lets us know where the offset is. So the system can tell, like if we're against this block, you can see that it's switching from like above to beside. But if I switch to select mode, it stops doing that. So certain systems care about the offset. Like the block placement cares about the offset, but the selection doesn't. The selection wants to know actually what block are we pointing at. But the block placement is like, where's the block in front of where we're putting at? And then we have like an eraser that does the same thing. So the eraser doesn't care about, you know, the offset. It cares about the actual block. So that's a neat way for us to like pack a lot of data into like a single global struct about the cursor. And it's been pretty helpful for this. Pretty simple at the end of it. Yeah. It's a little min-maxy, but you know, vector 3s are so inefficient. 160 viewers on YouTube. That can't be true. It's so crazy. I appreciate you all. I think we're heading towards the end of the stream. You can't wait to see the cutaway system. It's neat. If you look at some older streams, you can see it work with the older block model. But yeah, it's a neat system. We use a flood fill to figure out where all the sealed compartments are. And then we have a cutaway system that basically removes the walls so that you can see into that room. It's going to require a little bit of a trick to make that work with our with this raycast cursor model. It's true. You have a screenshot. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I would like to keep streaming, but like I'm tired. It's been 3 hours and I work 60-hour work weeks now between my day job and game dev. And this was my first full work week of the year, of the new year. And I'm like, I ate so much food and enjoyed so much, you know, recreation last month, the holidays, like between Thanksgiving and New Year's. Oh, water time. Thanks for the hydrate, Fesley. Oh, thank you for the follow. IMP MJA. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hey, bad cop. You had 100 tabs open. You're bad. You are bad. You're a bad cop. I don't see you on YouTube very often. Next Saturday, Bad Cop. Bay Area Godot meetup. Be there. Be square. Hojerick, genuinely you've been a huge gift to watch since discovering me late last year. I really appreciate that. My man. Yeah. I think we're gonna find someone to raid. I'm running out of snoozes, so we're gonna find someone to raid on Twitch. Bad Cop, go live. Quick. Oh, Daria's streaming. We might hop into Daria's stream. Daria's another a local Bay Area Godot dev. Oh, not Godot. It's not Godot. We'll be back soon. Okay, we're gonna wait like a minute. We're gonna try. They do this hand-drawn puzzle game, which is really sick. We might head there. No, you're going to bed. Next Saturday, Bad Cop, is the Godot meetup. Oh no, you're talking about streaming. You're right. No, yeah, go to bed. You can go live, Commander. If you do it in the next few minutes, I will totally do it. Tell me your handle. We'll do it. We're just going to hang out. We got pre-rolls on. I feel really bad for anyone who hops into the Twitch stream right now and gets stuck in a pre-roll and then finds out that we're leaving. Next Saturday, Bad Cop. Oh, you're streaming? Are you doing like an event, like a planned event? All right, that's fine. Next month, you have to come in February because that's when the playtesting and pints event is afterward. So you get a pass for January, but February. All right. Well, Daria is making some tea. I'm waiting for her to get back from making tea. Everyone will probably trickle out while we're waiting. Actually, I can start the raid. It'll count down kind of slowly. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for hanging out today. Daria's a super nice dev. They're making a really cool puzzle game. See ya, have a nice day. Yeah, thank you, Fesley. Again, thank you, everyone. New faces, quote-unquote old faces. Everyone, we have a Discord if you want to follow along with the streams or the game. Again, we're making an isometric 2D FTL style game in Godot. Coolbox, you have such an old face. That's what game dev does to you. It's 3 a.m. for you? All right, take it easy, Fesley. Commander, you're live? You're live? No, we'll raid you. What's your Twitch name? Daria's still making tea. Daria's AFK. Commander, hit me with that Twitch name. Don't troll me and give me a fake name. We gotta go. Commander Apollo. All right, we're gonna go check out Commander Apollo. Doesn't say you're live yet. Oh no, yeah, it says stream starting soon. Science and technology. All right, here we go. /raid. Commander Apollo. This is exciting. All right, don't worry. We're nice. We're mostly nice. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. No stream Tuesday, but I'll be back Wednesday.
He's dead, Jim.
So hopefully I'll see y'all next time. He is dead, Jim.
Most illogical.